How's everyone? How
Doing
many
well.
of you are actually starting this week? Okay. TWL, I don't know who you are, but okay, great. All right, so several of you are. How many of you will start next week? She's like shaking her head. No, don't call me that.
Yes.
Next week?
Yes.
Okay. You ready? Not
Maybe.
quite. You know what? One of the things that one of my colleagues said is that no matter how many years have we been teaching, like we sit back and we say, "You guys, I got it, I got it." Guess what? We are new teacher again. We started new again, and I do feel like I take this as a great opportunity to sharpen my skills and learn more because I learn new things every single day, every day. Yesterday, I joked, but I meant it, is that I learned a $1 million skill. And I will share with you when I get to that skill, you know? So one of the things is that as we are working online is that how do we get students engaged and how do we have the opportunity to see them all? Because I do have occasions where my student would log on and leave it there and probably walk around or go somewhere or do some other thing until like an hour later. When I ended the session, they still there. So that's one of my big things is that how do I virtually that I can see my student and know that they are with me. At least they know I know that they are looking at me. It's just like in your classroom, face to face. You know they're looking at you, but what they take in is another story. We will talk about it. I think in chat, our team has put the back channel again. Come with distance learning. There's a lot of new terms. This is a new term that I just learned about 10 days ago when we are planning this these modules, these 5 modules to share out with you. So it's the back channel, and pretty much my understanding of that, Brett, you can correct me, but my understanding of it is like it's a Google Doc where we use it as like a virtual handout. So we put a link on things that we are using, and then there's a parts of it when we are going to work interactively while the presentation is going. So I will give a quick orientation of that when we start so that we know what we're going and what we do, because that's one of the things for me, like, what is a back channel? What am I doing? I know back is somewhere in the back, but back channel, like, okay, you are looking at an EL still trying to break words down and try to understand what it meant, translating it. We still have a minute. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in the refugee camp, at the refugee camp in Indonesia, I escaped on a boat right across the Pacific Ocean for about 6 nights and 5 days. So we arrived at the refugee camp, and after jumping to many islands, we went to the main camp, and we were accepted to go to America. And so my first day with my Indonesian teacher learning English, and he gave me a list of things like, how do you do? How are you? What's happening? What's up? He gave me a list of like 10 of those. And we all sitting there, and I remember trying to translate each one of them. And it's just like, finally, we just like, I can't do it because it just do not make sense. And then when we talked, my teacher said, those are all the ways that Americans use to greet each other. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why I can translate it. And even to today, people say, what's up? And I'm like, okay, how do I translate? How do I respond to them? Okay, it's 1 o'clock. So here we go. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are so happy and excited that you are here with us today. On this team, on this presentation team, I am very fortunate to have 3 other people who's helping me. One is Tony Ludup. Tony, could you say hi? So
Hi.
Tony is currently right now, Tony is the host, and she's, if anything go wrong, it's all Tony because she's the host now. Right? Okay, so Tony is the host, so she's gonna help me with breakout room. My other friend is Lynn Abina. Where are
Hello.
you?
I'm right
Okay,
here.
she is the one. If you have a request in chat, not coffee, okay? If you have a request in chat, she's the one who provided you with all the link, and she tried to wave at me and say, Annie, there's a questions. So she's instrumental, just like Tony. And then I am very fortunate to have Brett stay from STEM because we want to record this and then we can share out just in case you forget or just in case you miss one part or other colleagues who could not get on so that they can access it later. And yesterday we recorded, but we couldn't get to it. So Brett offered to be with us and he's recording it for us. So hopefully everything will be fine. And then it will be on our website so that you can access it. So at this point, I am going to share my screen. Okay, so just, okay, hold on, let me do this. I need to go to the presentation mode here. It'll take a while. So I just want to let you know that this Zoom call is being recorded for training and educational purposes. And it's just like what I share with you. We need to record it in case we want to come back, in case other colleagues that cannot come, they can access it. So I hope you have done that because if you have been attending other modules, you should be as expert right now. So the 2 things I want you to do is in the chat box, if you can share what you are hopeful for the 2020-2021 school year. And the second thing I want you to do is to please rename your screen to include your full name. Like I modeled it for you. You see, I have Annie Young and the grade level. And so I don't work at the grade level. I work all grade levels. So I put language and literacy, and then I put SJCOE. That's where I work. So I like for you to put. The reason we ask you to do this is that when we are done, our colleagues in the department will generate, Zoom will give us the list of all the participants, and then we can send it to your districts if you are here on what you call it, if you are here on the payback days and all that, then your district will have record of you attending. So if we put some funky name, maybe your district may not be able to recognize you. So that's why we're asking you to put your full name, your grade level in the district so that when we send the report, the district will know, okay? Next, you've seen this again. So Zoom norm, I was just talking about the changing your screen name, and then you know to mute your mic because we had quite a few people. So I had the privilege of listening to somebody learning something earlier. So make sure you mute your mic so that people do not hear what you say in the background. And then please use chat, which is a very popular function. And then you can use the raise hand feature to ask questions during the breakout or debrief. Another thing I noticed that Zoom is very positive. There is no thumb down, it's only thumb up. And I learned it because I was in another Zoom and people said, okay, if you agree thumb up, you disagree thumb down. Well, there's no feature for thumb down. That means we all have to agree, right? So here we go. Orientation. I decided to do this because like I said earlier, together with distance learning, we are learning new terminology. So, and it took me a while too. So you will hear, and I put Padlet because there is a document on the back channel that will house like my presentation, all the resources, and there's the link. I'm gonna take a risk because I don't want to mess up my presentation, but I'm gonna take a risk to click on the link, and then it's gonna take me, hopefully, did you see another page or you just see my PowerPoint?
Just your PowerPoint.
Thank you, Tony. Let me stop sharing and I will share my screen again. This is something that I need to learn. So when I click on the Padlet link, I had all of these. So you can see module 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is at the corner so that you can go back in here and look at all the resources that we've been sharing with you. Right now, you don't have to worry about it, okay? Let me get back to my PowerPoint so I can show you the other one. The other one that is very, question? The other one is the very, very popular that you will hear it all day, all of this, throughout this presentation, we call it the back channel. And like I said earlier before the presentation starts, it's just a live Google document that we use during the presentation. So I am going to click on this and then I will get out and then go to that page and then I'll show you. So for sure you don't see it, huh? So I am going to get out, I'm going back in, I am going to share screen, it's okay. All right, so this is what we call, oops, oh no. This is still the back channel from yesterday. You can see how some of us have messed up my back channel right there. So if you see, I think on your back channel, you won't have it like this. This is my presentation from yesterday. So anyway, you will see module 5 and like a welcome note and a Padlet, and there's a link to the presentation. If you go click on that link, you will have my entire presentation, the PowerPoint that I am running. And then in there also we'll have like other activities that we go into breakout room. So when you go into breakout room, then you will have these, you see people have typed in it. I can guarantee you when you get in there, it's all gonna be blank. That will provide you opportunity to type in there, okay? So that's what we call back channel the whole time. So when you hear, go to your back channel, you know that if you click on that link that either Lynn put in the chat box for you or you have it from the Padlet, you can click on it, then you have access to it throughout the entire presentation, okay? So I know people who enter late and they say, I don't get back channel, I don't get back channel, I don't know what is the back channel, okay, all that. So I am moving on. Okay, it won't let me. All right, so welcome to module 5. And it is designated ELD in a virtual setting. And like I said earlier, we are so glad that you are here with us. I know the beginning of the school year, so much to do, but here you are being with us, appreciate it. Together, we're learning it. Okay, some equity norm, and again, you probably have seen it quite a few times. Engage as a learner, honor the experiences of others. Some of us got it really fast and some of us like, okay, say it again any different way. And especially with me, with the way I speak English, with my accent, it might be a little bit challenged at times. And sometimes I speak really fast. So own your own intentions and your impact. Let everyone have their aha moments. Make space for other contribution and use technology appropriately. Okay, next. Goal. So in this session, we specifically talk about English learners, okay? How do we help them during distance learning? Consideration for designated ELD during this time and structuring designated ELD time. Okay, your very first breakout room. So Tony's gonna put all of us into a breakout room. I'm sure I go in a room as well. So when you get to the room, quickly share who you are, your grade level, your school and district, and then you can go to your back channel. You will find these 6 alpacas as well. So look at each one of them and see which one capture how you are feeling these days and why, and share that with your roommate or the people in your breakout room. So be on the lookout for the dialog box that say breakout room, and then click on join, and then you will join. Here's the thing that's really important. We all keeping you in the same room. So number one, be friend with those people. Number two, remember your room number. So let's say for whatever you get lost in space, we know which room to put you back in. Otherwise, you're gonna be out there by yourself, okay? And then, so, oops, sorry, I had a link. So anyway, I show you the back channel before. So if you can remember this, I think some of my participants, what they do is they take a picture of my screen so then they can just look at it. Okay, you can do that too. So go ahead, Tony. So look for that dialog box, and let me see. I think I saw Amanda earlier. I had no mic, so I can't talk. That's okay. You can text. You can't talk, but you can text. It's okay. We'll see you. How was it? Did you even have a chance to share a little bit? Good. How do you like that?
My group had enough time to share. I think everyone went, and we did pick our llamas, so it was really fun. We had.
That's okay. It's like, okay, all of a sudden, yeah, so well. Hi, Carla. All right, I am going to share. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am sure you don't want to be here forever, right? If we give you 5 to 7 minutes, we're gonna go until 3 o'clock, and I don't think that's a good idea. So that's all we're gonna do. So that's why the next time when you go in there, talk right away. Don't wait. Share. All right. Next. So just a little bit. Again, this is one of the way that you can get the kids to talk, and especially for EL, there's no right or wrong. It's from their experience, so they can talk about it. And if you have newcomers, you can give them sentence starters. You can give them vocabulary with picture. They can say, "I think I am number one," something like that. I kind of like this though. All right. I think that picture tells it, right? So many things going, coming, going our way. Do this, do this, do this, and here's resource, here's resource. I went crazy in March and April. Too many things, I don't know what to do. I say, thank you, put it away. Thank you, put it away. Thank you, put it away. That's pretty much what I did. So for EL, during this time, our State Department maintained what we need to do for EL students. It hasn't changed. So English learner must continue to receive designated and integrated ELD as part of their educational curriculum. We can't waive out of it. Districts have the flexibility to determine how services are provided. So this is, if your district tell you 45 minutes, do it. If your district tell you 50 minutes, do it. Whatever they tell you, you listen. I always say because they pay us, right? The district can determine when, where, and what students receive in order to make progress toward English proficiency. So when you think about it, our whole goal is to increase our student proficiency. I mean, you can look at me. I always use myself when people said, Annie, don't do that. I said, can I hide the fact that I am a second language learner? I don't think so. So just like me, you don't want me to speak broken English the whole time. And how am I going to do that if I am in front of you presenting? So you want me to be proficient. And then although there's no minimum number of minutes required, ELD is required course of study. So the state doesn't prescribe any time. They just say ELD, if a student is an EL, they must receive designated ELD daily. And so remember bullet number 2, is that your district gets to decide based on student needs. So just a little recapture of this. So here you are, okay? My student, they are coming in. I have to face them next week. Distant learning, integrated ELD, designated ELD, lesson planning. How am I going to do, which platform? Can I do this? Can I do that? If I am on this platform, what am I doing? Or what can I do? What do I have to do? All kinds of questions. So we're gonna talk about it. So like I said, distant learning comes with terminology. We learned about the back channel a few minutes ago. Now we are looking at another one is synchronous. So this is, you probably are pretty well versed with it by now. So synchronous is when we are right now synchronous, teacher and student together at the same time. Of course, we have asynchronous where the student can view information and work on it at different time. Hybrid is another one where you can mix match between synchronous, asynchronous, and if you are working with EL, you can have them separately. And so during your asynchronous time that you can come in and help them. If you work, and it's just outside of EL a little bit, if you have 28 students, 24 students, and you got some special needs student, you can do that. Okay, Jamboard, so you don't have to keep listening to me. So please listen carefully to the direction. We are going to put you back in your room again. And remember, I asked you to memorize or remember your room number. So when you go back to the back channel, and I'm gonna have Lynn put the link in the chat box after I'm done, okay? So when you go back to your back channel, so let me show, you're gonna find a link, and then you're gonna select a sticky note or a pen, and then you're gonna share all the text tools that you have used during distant learning. You can write on it, you can use sticky notes. So let me click on this link and take you that just to show you. This is a cool one, I just learned it last week and I love it. I definitely will use it in my teaching. Okay, so when you go in the back channel, and Lynn, like I said, Lynn will post it, you will have Jamboard link room 1 to 10. Like I will assign to room 10. I would go to that link. Jamboard link room 11 to 20. Jamboard link room 21 to 30. So you find your appropriate link, click on it. Once you click on it, I am not good with pen, so I'm gonna go down to the fourth one on the, can you see it?
No, we cannot see it.
Okay, I just remember. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen so you can see it. It's a cool thing. I'm gonna take my time showing it. So, so when you click on the link, it's gonna take you to this page. Oh, I don't have my COE anymore, but I remember I have to share some text tool. So I'm gonna go to the left-hand side here. You can use a pen, I'll try that later, but I like the sticky. So I'm gonna click on the sticky dot. It showed me that, and I like orange. So I'm gonna say Zoom. That's my best friend. Oops. I'm gonna go Zoom, save. And then if I click out of it, there we go. I'm gonna get another, I'm gonna try to do as many, I'm gonna use green. So I'm gonna do screen castify. I don't know how to spell, save. And then if I want to compete with my other friend, I'm gonna stay there and I'm gonna just like Nipot. This is another thing that I just heard of. And you see, it's not right there. So this is a way to brainstorm. I can use the pen, but I'm not good with it. I can say, I can't think right now. I'm gonna do Zoom again because that's easier. Oh, somebody put Google Classroom in there. Not me, right? So you can learn. I mean, some of you are really good with this. So anyway, you got the point. So go ahead, Lynn and Tony. Tony put us in a group. Lynn, go ahead and post the link again for us to use. Okay, have fun, everyone. Do it quick. run to your room and try it. Oh, somebody, class dojo, somebody is sharing it with me. All right, moving on. When I get out, I get back, it takes a while. Okay, I was prepared because I was afraid that if the Jamboard doesn't work, then I'll have you share in chat. So I was prepared, so we can ignore it by now. So just a little, I want to talk a little bit about distance learning and EL. So when we talk about synchronous and asynchronous, and we know about the definition, so you look at it in the advantages for EL. When we conduct our session or class synchronously, we focus on oral language skill to social cue and modeling. Okay, like right now, I always have to remind myself, go slow, go slow. And Tony was saying, they are used to me. They work with me every day, so I can blah, 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 and they can understand me. But many of you, this might be the first time that you ever hear me. If I go too fast, it's just the accent, the way I speak, it might be very difficult. So for your students, think about your EL student. In front of you, they have difficulty time, let alone. But to distance learning, they had these advantages that I can talk to them, interact with peers and teachers, negotiate meaning opportunities. And again, if you think of 30 kids in your classroom, it's hard to look at every single kid, but here I can look at you. Always allow for more student interaction. The disadvantages is the pacing. We tend to go faster. And then scheduling might be confusing to them. It's just like for us, for them, they see, especially at the middle school and high school, they got all their content teachers, and this time you meet with this, and this time you do this. It might be a little bit confusing. So when I schedule, I need to be clear, short, precise, and use icons whenever possible. I'll talk about it later. Asynchronously, when during that time, the student by themselves, so they can focus on literacy development. And to me, this is huge. Many times teachers, like when they push work out asynchronously, they will record themselves, giving instruction, and then they post it, they upload it for students to watch. So the student will have plenty of opportunity to watch and rewatch if they miss any instruction. We provide time for process information and respond because they on their own. They can take as long as they need. Time to translate. Many kids from different country. I know one kid from one of the middle school. He's from China, and so he has his cell phone, and we allow this in ELD class. And he has a dictionary. That's his best friend. He translates the whole time, so he understands. He can keep up with what's going on. I talk about repeat video. They can repeat listening to audio like in the classroom. When we put the audio for the text that we are reading, a lot of time we don't have time in the class. We only hear it once. Asynchronously, they can hear as many times they like. They can just like rewind, or stop, listen. And then allow for more student-to-teacher interaction for clarification. They can ask you questions, you can go on Zoom and clarify for them and things like that. And then the disadvantages of this is that loss of social cue and negotiate the opportunity to negotiate, meaning because they are by themselves, who they gonna read? I mean, a lot of time they might negotiate with themselves, but it's okay. Here's some consideration for EL that I have. So proficiency level, when we are thinking about pushing out asynchronous work with our students, we have to consider their proficiency level, because you don't want to give them work that you're not there in front of them to help. They have to navigate it themselves. So you got to think about their proficiency level, their learning environment. access to resources and technology, family support, and other responsibility. Many of our students, and so do many other students who live in low socioeconomic areas. Sometimes they get so many people in one household, and they don't have a corner where they can do it. They may not have internet access unless the school is provided it to them. And then another thing is responsibilities at home. If parents have to go to work and they have to try to go to work, the kids are at home with other siblings and all kinds of things. So here's some questions you ask yourself as you are planning. How can I continue to use the resources and strategies that my students and their families are familiar with? What does our adopted curriculum include for distant learning? Which digital platforms or applications are my students and family familiar with? And which digital structure and routine that they know so that I can keep it the same for them. So at this point, I'm gonna put you in breakout room again, okay? So pause, reflect, and plan. So I want you to think about during the spring distance learning, what have you provided for your EL students? And this time, you have to go into your back channel, elect one recorder, because if we have 150 people get onto that, there will be traffic jam. So in each room, get one person to type. As people are talking, that person will record in the back channel, and you will find, I think this one is on slide 21. You will find like planning to address distance learning for EL, slide 21, and then you find your room and you type it in. Go ahead, go ahead, Tony.
Sorry, I said it's
That's
nice
okay.
and you have a pretty backyard.
Yeah, that's a real one. Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Beautiful.
I don't know why it looked good on picture. I don't think it looked that good in real.
No, it looks
I think
beautiful.
Zoom does a good job of photoshopping. I think so. People were like, yeah. I did not put my makeup on. I said, oh, you look really good. I think Zoom has a what you call it, like Photoshop built in.
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
I don't know. That. I don't know about Team, but Zoom is good. Okay, look like we all come back. So I hope you had enough time to share. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So we are moving on. All right, so a little reminder of integrated and designated ELD. So you got integrated ELD, and it's throughout the day. Content is the focus and language is to support the content. Of course, we use content standards and ELD is the support. Well, flip the table. Now we got designated ELD. So then this is specific protected time, and the focus is language with connected to content. Always, because we always say we can develop academic proficient in English if we don't connect it to content, because otherwise we talk about social, we talk about things around us. And then ELD standards is the focus, content to support. Really quick about ELD standard, we got part 1 and part 2, and we need to have both of them. And there's only 19 of them, okay? And the whole goal is to move our students from emerging to expanding to bridging to reclassification. That is our goal. I always tell everyone that English learner status should be temporary for all our EL. They should not be EL for the rest of their life if they were born here or they've been here for a long time. Okay, here's something to remember when you plan for EL is that keep it predictable, keep it simple, and keep language the focus. Because if you roll out your asynchronous work, if you prepare for your presentation virtually when you do synchronously, then if you keep it the same format, It's gonna be a lot of work, but you keep the same format, your student will be familiar to it, and it helps contextualize the learning a lot better. That they don't have to say, oh, today I use this, tomorrow I use this. The student many times have to interpret, okay, what did my teacher do now? So I can follow. Okay, so so now we kind of have some consideration what we need to be aware. What do I use? Talking about curriculum materials, of course, if your district adopt material, then you gotta use it, right? I just went on to Benchmarks and Wonders and go to their website. They do have a lot of material to support teachers. I know Wonders provided trainings, they have videos and all kinds of things. And so this is a work from my colleague from Santa Clara County Office of Education, and I can send you the link later, but let me share with you. So she took a third grade unit. I can't remember which unit, but this is from a third grade, and the book is Rescue Dogs Save the Day. And she went through and she redid this, and it's interactive. I'm gonna click on it, and then I'm gonna stop sharing so that I can go to ooh, where is it? Okay, here. So I can show you on the interactive. So I make a copy. It's gonna take a few minutes, but it will pull up while I chit chat with you. Here we go. So with all of these, look at this. It's about 12 pages that she redid it herself. And you notice there, look at this picture, think about icons, pictures, and this is interactive, okay? And then with a partner, discuss, and she has a little icon to discuss, to look, to read, and she keeps the icons the same, okay? And then at the beginning, when you orientate the kids and you keep things the same, then look at vocabulary development, and you go into questions. And so all of these, once you created it, it's gonna take a long time. I'm not lying to you. For this module that I am presenting to you right now, I work days and nights, 2 o'clock every morning, and for 10 days to put this together. So, but I enjoy it though. Trust me, I enjoy it. I'm not complaining. I enjoy it because cut and paste, looking for picture appropriately, all that, I enjoy it. And if you want, I will make sure to put it on the Padlet so that you can have access to it, because, you know, once we create it, why not, right? Share the wealth. So what I like for you to do right now, I like for you to in chat really quickly with your adopted curriculum or material. How are you going to use it? Just in chat, quickly put it in, really quick. If you are brand new, just say, I don't know, haven't used it, I'm new. This is my first year, I'm trying to figure it out, show me. Okay, I see a lot of ideas in chat. Let's see, let me go to chat. Trying to have Google Classroom dial in, integrate some story for STEM unit, wonder material or online, student can write in there online, okay. I have an A, so I would love to help teacher with writing a flipped classroom. Yes, definitely, we gotta do that. I'm new and hoping to learn from other experts here. You know that you can save chat, right? So where it said to everyone, and on the right-hand side, there's a 3 tiny little thing. You click on that and you click save chat, all the chat will be saved. And I think you have to save often, because when it's saved up to that point, and then whatever new added, it won't save. That's what I do, I save the chat, because when I am presenting, I can't see everything. Is it all Google Suite? Since Read 180, System 44, vocabulary practice into teams. Okay, very good. Okay, so again, we have material, sometimes using the material to push it out. And I know I've worked with Wonders and Benchmark and Study Sync is also from the same publisher. It's sometimes it's confusing for kids too. So, okay, I am moving on. Continue to put in chat when things pop up in your head. So, we talk about, we have adopted curriculum. To tell you the truth, somewhat is simply, now what if we don't? And I believe that all our districts adopted something, but just in case. And maybe as you look at this, you might think, okay, maybe I want to use my story from Wonder, but I can do this. Here we go. And really, they are the same ideas, okay? So like I said earlier, this is directly from our ELD framework. Content plays a key role in designated ELD, since it's not possible to develop advanced level of English using text and tasks devoid of academic content language. We gotta say, one of the things that I told teacher, and I think many teachers hate me for this, is that I said, you know, we jump up and down. When we have the capability to change the readability level on a text online, and I like, if you keep changing it, let's say I am in 8th grade and I'm reading a 3rd grade level, and you keep giving it to me at 3rd grade, when I am going to go to 4th grade, when I am going to go to 5th grade. So the trick here is that we keep it at grade level and we provide support to help students access it. That's the key. So if you don't have material, then you can do to a theme or a topic. Those of us who's been around a while, I'm sure you remember thematic teaching. You can go to social study history, you can go to science, and you can take the topic from there, or you can look at the topic from your main reading text, and then from there, you develop your designated ELD. That way, is the topic is not new, and you can help them deepen their understanding of the particular topic while increasing their language proficiency. Little reminder, we all know about the LPAC, right? So when we test students on LPAC, we test them on all 4 domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So when we are planning our designated ELD, make sure that you also address all 4 domains. So this something to remember, some consideration is to use a template. And we've been talking about this because a template like a PowerPoint, Google Slide, it will help keep it consistent and predictable for both students and parents if they are helping and learning at the same time. Keep it simple. Too much on the page, it will overwhelm your student. Create less clicks. It's helpful for us too. Click here and click here and click here, just like too much, forget it. So the less, the better. This is a structure that you can, create your designated ELD. So the focus of the lesson, if it's like listening, is it reading, is it writing, is it speaking? And then you link it to a video, screencastify audio clip of a text. And then you have your direction, make sure it's simple. Highlight what they will do during this time. And of course, your learning target. So here's some example. For listening, notice we got icons. And then, so there's the learning objective in the student-friendly language. And then we're going to talk about the water cycle. As you can notice that they are going to watch a little video clip, listening to it. And here's my direction for them. Again, whenever possible, put in the icons. And for the icons, make sure it's consistent throughout all of your direction. When I was looking for icons for the video, and I like, okay, some of the icons I see online, I say, well, I don't know if the student from like China, from India, from Australia, or from Europe, or from Cambodian, do they know that this little thing is representing video? And then when we talk about compare and contrast, we're like, does it help? Well, it doesn't matter if it's not from, I mean, I had to think about it, but then I said, okay, maybe my student from different culture might not interpret as a video. That is why orientate your student with all the stuff that you are using, all the icons, what does it mean, is helpful. To teach academic language, so this is just a listening thing, okay? So let me go back. Let me share my screen because otherwise you won't hear it. This is a $1 million lesson I learned yesterday. I tried to play and it won't play. So one of the participants told me, when you share, click on share sound from my computer. Here we go. See if it works. Can you hear it?
I'm Doug the Drop. Let's make rain.
Oh no.
Okay, everybody, start out in the wave. The sun beats on our back. We change from liquid to vapor. We rise up in the sky and say to our neighbor, evaporation. Wiggle now. Condensation. You made a cloud. Precipitation.
Can you guys hear it,
We rained on down there. The water cycle boogie.
Yes, we can hear it.
Round. The water cycle boogie. It goes up and down. Get on down. Let me hear you clap the beat. You know, sun gives the water cycle power to spin.
Okay. I love to listen to it all the way, but we gotta move on, right? So again, even this fun thing is this fun music, it does have a lot of academic vocabulary in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can teach, because sometimes we're like, okay, we don't have time, but this is fun, engaging, and it's teaching academic language. Hi, Cindy.
Goes up.
Okay, it won't let me move on.
Down.
All right, here we go. So now it's the speaking. Again, you got the ideas. So, I mean, look at, you are very specific and it's clear so that your student will know what to do asynchronously. Took me a long time to be able to say that word correctly. I'm still stumbling over it. So many syllables, can't get it. This is for writing. Okay? So, like I said, if you don't have a curriculum, and I'm thinking even if you do have a curriculum, you can enhance your designated ELD curriculum as well by these examples, okay? When I work with teachers on like the designated ELD from the publisher, benchmarks, and wonders, I always advise teachers, you can just look at what the publisher provided to you, step back and say, okay, what do they give me? Because they follow a structure. And then you look at that structure and say, okay, maybe I can enhance it here. Maybe I can add to it here so that the experience for students will yield better results. And then I'll tell you, sometimes as a teacher, I got bored of what I do. So I want some excitement. I want something different. Okay, guess what? You get to go into your room again and think about how are you planning to address the 4 domains during your designated ELD time. Whether you have the curriculum or whether you don't have the curriculum. And look at, I even pull out a part of the back channel for you so that you know you can look for that. It's blue. The color is blue on your back channel. And then you can find your room number and then you can type it in, okay? All right, go ahead, Tony. Look for your room and click join. Okay, we are about to all come back. Did you have enough time to talk and type? Or is it too much? Good. Okay, Kristen, put your thumb up. That means it's okay because we can. I don't think we can give more time, but we can give less time. I wish I have more time, but okay. Moving on. So we talk about curriculum. We talk about material. Okay, so now I got material. What do I do with them? Right? Virtually. How do I do it virtually? So here we go. So I had just a few reminders, and some of them might be, I've been repeated so many times. So just excuse me if you felt that way. But again, it's helpful. So be mindful of your rate of speech. And again, it's just like I am always being reminded, because when I present or sometimes when I got nervous, I talk really fast. And sometimes if I don't know how to structure something or sometimes I can't pronounce it, I talk fast. So you don't know what I'm talking about. You can't even ask questions, okay? So I always have to remind myself, slow down, it's okay. The other one is visuals are key, as we always know. Picture worth 1,000 words, right? And then the other one I said before, train your students. Just like at the beginning of the school year, you train your student to walk in a line, to walk to the lunchroom, to walk back, all that thing. Train your student with all your icons or how you set up. And again, do it in chunks. Don't overwhelm them at one time. Just, okay, today we're gonna talk about, okay, so when I want you to read, this is what you do. When I want you to listen, just little part at a time. Organize your presentation. I think some of you have shared earlier that you put your presentation to the student on the slide or PowerPoint. I found that the most helpful. When I will first thrust into this, I was shocked too. So I had a Zoom and then I talked to my students and I was like, you know, there's nothing, it's in the air. There's nothing for the student to grasp. So I like, okay, organize your presentation, use a slide deck, or if you want it, whatever you want to use, but make sure you have it both synchronous and asynchronous so that you know what you've been talking about and the student can always go back. When you have your slide deck, it's so easy. So when you record yourself on screen, classify, whatever, can talk, share, whatever that you are doing, then you can talk while you run the PowerPoint. And then the next thing I'm gonna tell you is animation. Whenever you can animate, because if I had the whole, so much text on a page, not only as an EL, but as a you know, low readers, I don't want to call low, that's bad, but as a low readers, when I see so much text on a page, I close up. I'm like, oh, too much, can't do it. Okay, never mind. And then I said before, insert icon whenever possible. Snip and sketch is your best friend. And I will try to model it a little bit, and you just have to be, okay? And so remember we talked about be predictable, be symbols, and focus on language, because we are working, developing designated ELD and working with our EL students. So I'm gonna see if I can model, actually, let me show you the next page. So the next page you have, okay, so you use graphic organizers. We are familiar with that. Use the one that you use with your kids all the time so they know it. Or try one at a time from the beginning of the school year, explain what do we use this for, and then from that time on, use that. And then introduce another one. Asynchronous, like I said earlier, people were talking about flipped classroom. You can, and that's what pretty much what we are doing. So with my student, I tell them, so I give work for you to do asynchronously, and then I look at your work, and then I bring you back during synchronous time where I can clarify information, I can teach you new information, and then I send you back to do it. And you can use any of these platforms, and I'm sure there's a much more out there. And I am not going to go into each one of them because I don't even know them. I know Zoom, and I've done well with Zoom until recently, but there's many ways that you can record yourself and push it out to students because you're not there with them physically. The other way is synchronous. It's just like the physical classroom. Just a little reminder, I am with you right now. Whatever I'm doing with you, I try to keep that in mind. It's not because we are online with 100-something people, 200 people, that I can just forget all about it. You are not going to be able to look at me when I just talk at you like this. I can maintain your interest and then engagement. Okay, so a few things, same thing that we've been talking about, use images and video when we are online. And many times like this, with this module, Tony and I and Lynn, they are my guinea pigs. I went through it back and forth with them and make sure this work and that work. And it's okay if it doesn't. Give yourself some grace because we are new at it. Model the thinking out loud. Wait time because it's online. We don't see the kids. You know, one of the tricks that I do when I am on Zoom, I do not know about the other platform, but when I am on Zoom, I printed out my PowerPoint, my material. So if I talk, I look at it because I created it, I know. And then on my Zoom screen right now, I have all of you, not all of you, I have a big gallery of about like 24 to 30 people on my screen. It's pretty much cover my screen, but at least I keep an eye on my students. I know what's going on. And I can say, hey, Tony, wake up. Hey, Lynn, do this, do that. Sorry, they didn't do anything bad. I'm just I'm just using it. But like I said, that's what I have to do. Is that right now I'm not looking at my screen. So sometimes if you see that my screen and me are not seen because I'm not looking at it, I'm looking at you. So so that you can, you know, that's accountability. Use sentence starter that the student can see. And that is a trick because it's just like you talking, you're managing the screen, you're looking at your students to make sure they listen to you. But there's a way. Those of you who know us, who know me, who know language and literacy, you know that we usually model an activity called sentence patterning chart. And I did it all on the whiteboard on Zoom. It's possible. I mean, it takes some work, some practice, but it's possible. And then, like I said about creating accountability for responding is that you keep an eye on your students and then make sure you call on different students because just like in the classroom, we have the tendencies on calling on those. I mean, we either call on those who never respond or we call on those who raise their hand all the time. Or we call on the students who just like looking around, or just like gotcha, right? So we should make sure that we call on all students so they know that you are looking at them so that they can be drawn in a little bit more. I was talking about snip and sketch. In your back channel, we give you the link where you can go for it. So let me try. I try it, it works for me, and then now it doesn't. So I am going to pull this up and then I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so this is snip and sketch. When you install it and when you download it, it's just an app. When you download, you will have the picture I show you on my PowerPoint. And then when you click on it, it has like this. So I'll go to new. And then I will go to my PowerPoint. You don't see this part, but I just go to my PowerPoint and you see right there, I just snip it. And then I go here, I copy it, and then I can bring it anywhere. I created a document where I snip and then I put things on that document. So I don't have to go back to the website and keep searching and searching. And like, I remember that. And then you have to come up with different ways to search. So create a folder for yourself. So when you search, put them in there, then you can go back there later. Thing that you like to use. Were you able to see the snip and sketch that I did? How many of you are using that when you create material online? Perfect, great. All right, let me show
I use it all the time. It's great.
I know, I tell you, I enjoy it. Looking for picture. And again, when you look in that picture, you have to consider your students, is it appropriate? And then also another thing when we talk about like being inclusive of kids, and this is a way that you can take care of that diversity, be inclusive of all diversity, and then like social, emotional learning, all that. Okay, moving on. So in chat, I like for you to just type in some consideration that you will take in when planning or delivering instruction to your EL. Just really quick. Oops, I want to look at chat. So go ahead and type in. I can't, okay, there you go. Yes, you have to type in order for it to show up on my screen so I can see. Slow down and repeat. I hope I slow down enough for you. I try tomorrow. Lots of think time, yes, wait time. Slow down even more and repeat often. Slide and record. Awareness of differences. Create meaning interaction, provide think time, lots of think time, icon, usual. Subtitle, yes, thank you, Zach. Showing video clips. Then you can have the subtitle. That's very helpful. Thank you. I forgot about it. And how much knowledge they have. Thank you, Kim. Not only their proficiency level, but their knowledge, their background knowledge, where they came from, what do they have, how's their primary language, or how much learning they have in their country. All of those will help. Thank you. Chunk information. I like that. Okay, I am moving on. Okay, so these are some reminders. So we talk about consider for EL during distance learning. We talk about materials. We talk about how to use the material. So now we talk about structuring ELD time, designated ELD time. So it's just a quick reminder of the conditions for oral language development. We've all had our classes where we talk about questions and comments. So these are all about questions and common theories. I'm not going to read them to you. I want to go on to the next part. So structuring ELD time. A quick reminder is that designated ELD is always contextualized from integrated ELD by using the same or complementary text, video clips, or whatever you are using. So we always say designated ELD built into and from integrated ELD. We don't teach designated ELD in a vacuum by itself. It doesn't work, it's not effective. We all know that. So when you are doing designated ELD virtually, you can do it before, you can do it during or after. So let's say I have an hour with for my English language arts. Then one way I can do is I can get my EL to come in a little earlier so I can front load, prepare for them to participate in the upcoming lesson. So let's say we are reading a lesson today of Mice and Men. It's pretty difficult. Let's say we're gonna cover chapter 1 and 2, or just chapter 1. Then what are some ideas or concepts or some difficult vocabulary in there that might stop them from learning? Then I can pull them in like 15 minutes before class that I can work with them on it. The other way you can do is like after. So we visit, or you even with this, you can do it during. So let's say if you can bring your EL student in before the class time start, and because they have to attend another class right before you, right? You can't bring them in. Then what you do is when you first started, you do some fun activity to get people, to get them in groups so they can use language to just talk about things like, tell me what you did last night and whatever. And so for a few minutes, and then you can assign your EO student to listen on audios, and then you can work with you can front load your EL. And then during, then let's say after you teach for like 10 minutes, like how I put you in the room, then I can put them in the room, or I can assign them something to do quietly, silently, while I work with my EL. And I'm gonna say this, I'm only saying if, okay? I'm not saying everyone, but if you have a paraprofessional, they are golden during this time because they can help you tending the different group. Usually with designated ELD, I will start instruction with the kids. While I make on Zoom, I found out the person who pop into the room has to be the host. I can make my paraprofessional to be the host. So he or she can pop into the other room, make sure the kids are working while I work with my EL for like 10 minutes, giving them instruction. And then I can trade role with my para, have them go and assist my EL where I go and assist my other EL students, okay? And then the other one is deepen, because you want to focus. If your student get good at something, then you want to go deeper. Those of us who attended session 4, module 4 earlier, out of the 6 principles, I think principle number 2 talk about deepen, because we don't have time to cover everything. So we focus and we deepen their understanding. That's how they can go farther instead of trying to like patch the holes in their educational journey right now. Okay, do we have time for a chat? I mean, for a breakout, Tony? Would you be able? Yeah, we don't have
2
time.
minutes until 2:30, Annie.
Yeah, okay, so never mind. I was gonna put you in the breakout room to talk about how you plan to structure your designated ELD. Why don't you do it really quick now? Just like put in the chat. How would you structure, how are you thinking of structuring your designated ELD? Is it during, is it before, or which one you feel more comfortable with? So go ahead and put it in chat.
Annie, I'm going to put the distance learning feedback link so they can fill out their
Yes.
eval.
Yeah, so continue putting it in. Let me see if I can see some. All right, here we go. Realia, and then, okay, before or after, before, during, separate team group, okay, a lesson on a separate. Okay, if you are doing within your ELA and you want the kids to come early or stay a little bit late, make sure you communicate to the parents. I'm gonna give your kids some extra support. I had some teachers tell me the parents of the EO students are complaining. How come those kids get extra of your time and mine is not? I'm like, okay, then you just like, well, they need support, and I'm sure you have to do intervention as well. Okay, I keep putting it in there. I'm saving the chat. I just want to share with you the last resources here. The last resource here is that the translation. Sometimes you need, because you can't send it to somebody to translate. If you are using it, you gotta trust it and make sure you check back and forth, but be concise and use simple sentences. And you can still maintain academic rigor with simple sentences. For example, there is a schedule change begin meeting. Instead of this phrase, I mean this paragraph, I can guarantee you And I've tried it with the Vietnamese many times. When I write simple sentences, Google Translate does a good job. But when I started putting relative clauses and things like that, it cannot translate, okay? And then another thing is avoid jargon, slang, idiom, use literally term. It's like ran into, instead of, oh, I ran into your parent last night, I met, because I know sometimes people say, I'm gonna shoot you an email, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna shoot me? When before I hear the word email, I hear the word shoot first. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you, and I'm like, what? An email, okay? And again, student can translate literally and say, oh, how are you gonna do that? Just like I put it on the paper and then do that, right? So with that, if you, I think you have this. Again, the point is like keep it simple, keep it predictable, focus on the language so that your parents are with you because they are an important part of your students' education. And I had this quote to end our session. A ship is always safe ashore, but that is not what it's built for. Like I said earlier, we were somewhat comfortable of what we are doing. Now we are leaving the shore. We are out in the ocean. There's a lot of challenge out there, but that's what we are here for. And we're gonna meet the challenge head on, and we are going to do it. And we are here from language and literacy, from all the departments of SJCOE. We are here to support you. So thank you so much for being with us. I believe that Lynn has put the evaluation or the feedback form in the chat, if you can fill it out. And here's, there's a couple workshops that come up. We got the virtual tech summit that come up. I think it's a Saturday. It's free. You know, I will make time to attend so that I can learn a few tricks there too. And then there's our contact information. I couldn't have done this by myself. I got the help of all the departments of my college, my team, to put this together. And again, thank you so much for spending your time with us.